Sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday, May 3rd, 2020. This is the Sorry If You're Offended podcast. We are still under coronavirus lockdown. Some crazy, interesting stuff has happened these past couple weeks since we last talked. I don't even know. How do you feel about what's going on right now?
It is, it's absolutely insane. It's a wild world we're living in, and I guess fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, fortunately for us to have things to talk about, unfortunately, because of what's happening, we kind of live in the center of the coronavirus controversy here in Michigan, so it's been really, really interesting, especially because I talk to people around the country every day, and hearing them like ask me questions and like talk about it, what's happening here, it's wild, man.
Yeah, here is definitely like the experiment, what's going on, because so many people are uprising against this shit. People, that was right there. Just, this is so ironic. The ironic part is, so what was it, Friday? They were in the Capitol with guns.
Yeah, I think it was Friday.
Like they decided, and what makes no sense to me is half of them were wearing masks. Like, why are you even wearing masks? Why are you covering your face? Are you afraid because you have your gun with you, or are you afraid really because of the coronavirus? Like, you don't want people to know who you are, or are you afraid of the coronavirus? Because your whole point is that you don't believe in the coronavirus. Why are you there?
Right. I don't.
But did you hear what happened in Canada though? The exact next day.
No, what happened in Canada?
There was a mass shooting in Canada.
Really?
Canada, yes, yesterday. This mass shooting in Canada. They officially banned all assault rifles throughout the nation.
Really?
Yes, the exact day after that happened in Michigan, which
I
just thought was ironic. Like, one country over here, we got people. No, it was just Justin Trudeau. Us over here, we got people in our capital with guns, and then over there, they're banning assault rifles within like a day apart, which is just ironic to me.
It's crazy. I'm all for people using their rights, and you want to protest, you want to go give yourself coronavirus, you want to make yourself heard, whatever your beliefs are, you got that right. The whole bringing assault rifles into the Capitol building to where the politicians have to show up wearing bulletproof vests because nobody's sure what's going to pop off. That's where I kind of draw the line, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah.
These people's lives were not directly being threatened by the actions of the government to where they should need to take up arms, in my opinion. So I don't understand what they were trying to prove by showing up there, fully strapped.
They were trying to prove what they proved.
I also
little coverage.
I also don't understand like how they weren't arrested, because like there are still limits. Like, we're an open carry state, and I do believe in the Second Amendment. You know that. But there are still limits on it, and there are still like restrictions that have to be followed. And I am surprised that bringing a weapon into the Capitol building is not one of those restricted areas. I mean, you can't take a gun into a casino, a church, a courthouse, a school. There's a lot of places that are restricted. I would think that like a federal building,
yes, would be one.
Would be one of those places. Yeah, I was shocked by that, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I was very, very blown away. I don't know. I think they're fighting for something that like has nothing to do with what I think they just want attention, basically.
And that's all. That's it. You hit it. You're 100% right. It's just an attention ploy, because like, what were their intentions by bringing those weapons? Like I said, their lives are not being immediately threatened. I don't believe that anybody who took those weapons there went there with the intent of using them at any point. It was just like trying to flex, Yeah. And for what? Like, at what point, because of coronavirus lockdown, are you going to feel that your rights are so impeded that you're actually going to take up arms and, start using the weapons and like break down into some kind of civil war? Because I don't see it happening. You know what I mean? Like, I think this would have to go a lot further before people would feel compelled to actually physically put their lives on the line to fight for it. Not, hey, you can't go to the bar until May 28th. So, stay home and drink a beer.
What is it called for when people like out people on the internet? It's illegal to do that, right? When you like when you find out who they are and then you tell everyone?
It's called doxing.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should technically dox them, but I think they should be doxed for any kind of medical treatment. So if any of those people that decided they wanted to go to the state or to the Capitol and protest, if they get sick, they should be the last people to get medical treatment.
No, see, I disagree.
Coronavirus.
I disagree because now you're just like, that's almost being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying?
How's that being a hypocrite?
Because like
right now, the every hospital's overwhelmed. The doctors can't. There's so many people, and if they're gonna purposely go out there and risk their own selves, they should be able to put themselves at the end of the line to get help.
Because the idea of having personal freedoms and having rights like medical treatment and that, you know, universal health care, I know is something you believe in, you know, that doesn't start and stop based on somebody's ideology. You know what I'm saying? Like, they deserve the same treatment as anybody else. Yeah,
I know, but right now,
yeah,
there's hospitals that are deciding who is going to get the treatment and who's not because they don't have enough treatments to give everyone. So they have to decide, and they're deciding, oh, you're older, you're younger, let's let the older person die. If the older person didn't go to the damn rally and the younger person did, the younger person shouldn't get fucking treatment. I'm sorry, dude.
How often is that really happening right now, though?
In downriver, a lot. Down Detroit, that's why, like, throughout Michigan, not much. Like, Lansing, yeah. But in Detroit, that's a lot. And, like, the big areas where it's getting hit, that was the big problem, is that there's too many people going into the one hospital for the same thing, and they don't have enough of everything to help people.
Right, and I know there are shortages on, like, PPE and respirators and stuff like that. I'm just saying it's a slippery slope. You start deciding people aren't worthy of treatment because of, you know, decisions they made in their lives, and it's just like it's a short walk before we're looking at bigger implications, like, you know, people not treating people because they're black or because they're gay or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but that's two different things.
Yeah, but
there's a pandemic going on right now, and people that aren't taking it seriously. I don't think so.
I think so.
I think there's people that aren't taking it seriously, and those people that aren't taking it seriously shouldn't be taken seriously when they're sick.
Do I think that it's fucking stupid? Yes, I think it's fucking stupid. I just, like I said, if we believe in equality,
all right, let me ask you this.
Equality is equality for everybody.
Let me ask you this. You or someone close to you gets coronavirus, and they're sick, and they're dying, and you know they're in the hospital, and then you know someone who didn't believe in the coronavirus that went to the state gets coronavirus, and they're in the same hospital with your family member, and it's deciding on which one of them gets the treatment. Who are you going to think? Not just because it's your family member. You're going to want your family member because they're not the idiot that went that went out.
Of course, but when we look at complex issues like this, you can't make decisions based on emotion, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm an emotion.
I've said it 100 times in the weeks that we've been doing this podcast that I believe equality is equality for everybody, whether they're a fucking idiot or not. You know, like, that's just what I believe.
That's the whole point. If you believe in equality right now, it's not equal because people that believe like us that are staying inside are getting killed because the other people aren't equally doing the same thing. That's not equality. There's people in the hospital right now dying because other people are getting treatments that didn't think this was serious. That's not equality. Them deciding who gets to die and who doesn't isn't equality.
I would need to see some numbers on that before I could weigh in, to be honest with you.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm just telling you, I've been talking to you-know-who.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drop names on this, and he told me this is the scariest thing he's ever seen in his fucking life.
Oh, I believe that.
He's scared to death.
Especially where he's at. I mean, it's so densely populated and so, it's such a poor area. I believe that 100%.
He's not there. He's in Wyandotte, bro.
Oh, really?
He's worked in Wyandotte for the last, 4 years.
Oh, well, I guess
he hasn't worked in,
I need to keep up with my friends better.
Yeah. He's right there. He said this is worse than when he worked downtown.
Really?
Yes, worst he's ever seen. He's literally called me crying and shit. Like, this isn't fucking something to joke about. And these people are just going out and, I don't think, I'm sorry. If you're dumb enough to fucking do something, you should be dumb enough to take the consequences. And I understand you say it's not equal, but it is equal.
I mean, on that token, I guess I understand where you're coming from. It is a choice that they're making.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, honestly, after that first protest, I thought we were going to hear about like a huge spike in people getting coronavirus because there was a ton of people out there.
There
like,
was.
without masks on, like in each other's faces.
There's actually something funny. You can look it up. I'm going to pull it up when we do this video and I post it. I'm going to post the actual numbers. So there's a thing that says how many cases are announced each day, right?
Uh-huh.
And it shows you each day it starts going down. The lowest points are hilarious. So one of the lowest days so far this month was Easter Sunday. Guess when the spike happened? The day after Easter Sunday, because everyone decided they wanted to go see their families. Then the next spike was the protests. It was really low right during the day of the protest, and the day after the protest, it started going back up again.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily track because I thought that one of the things about this virus is that it takes up to 2 weeks before you even develop symptoms. So how would
not always, and it's not 2 weeks. It's up to 5 days.
Oh.
So you watch the graph. It starts off small, and then it goes up really high again, and then it starts getting back down to the lowest point again. And that's where everyone's like, "Oh, we're safe." It's happened like 4 times already this month. You can look at the daily numbers. Like you can watch it go up and down. It shows you on a graph.
It's weird because I feel like we've reached a point now that people are just like so bored that they're just like acting like it's over with because they just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah. We have the what's it called now? The masks. Like it's mandatory to wear masks in stores. I went to a store like yesterday. Do you know how many people I've seen without masks?
That's how it was like 2 weeks ago too. I have to go to the grocery store today and I'm like dreading it, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I just don't get it.
Actually, the last time I went, not only were there like a ton of people not wearing masks, but like even the cashier like had no mask, no gloves, nothing, like touching all my food. I'm like, all right, this is sweet. You're interacting with the public every day.
I don't know, man. This is completely fucked. Did you see the FDA has allowed the emergency use of another drug to treat coronavirus now?
What's this drug?
Remdesivir, Remdesivir.
And what are the...
But this is the best part, is it got posted, and everyone's, like, loving it, and I can already... It's going to be just, like, the last one where everyone's just going to go out and try to get it and take it without even thinking about it. And it literally says allows emergency use of this drug. So, I mean, assuming if it's, like, someone's completely, like, on the deathbed and last chance they're going to try this drug, so I'm assuming it's not good for you.
Is it effective?
I have no idea. They literally just posted that they're allowing... I'm assuming it's effective for emergency use.
No,
just like that chloroquine that everyone kept trying to find, and now everyone's talking about. And
I gotta be honest, I've kind of reached the point with this whole thing, like with everything that we were just talking about and everything happening like nationally, that like as terrible as it is, I've kind of buried my head in the sand because I can't deal with it, man. Like I can't listen to Trump talk about it. I can't.
Oh, I haven't listened to him talk about it.
I can't.
I haven't watched one news thing about him.
I can't deal
or
with
even
the
Gretchen.
shit that I see everybody fucking posting on social media. Just
that's what I can't deal with.
Throwing their opinions around with no facts, or like posting things that like even the smallest amount of logical, critical thinking will tell you that whatever you're posting doesn't even fucking make sense. Like I see that shit all the time, and it's just it's overwhelming.
Yeah. I know part of me thinks this is Earth just doing his job. Natural selection kind of just... I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Just let it run its course.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, it's going to run its course. That was another thing that someone posted. Some right-wing person posted. Like, if we just let it run its course, it already been over. It showed like a graph of how everyone would have got it and everyone would have been over. I'm like, yeah, but there have been so many more deaths because the whole entire hospital system would have been overwhelmed.
Well, I did read something interesting the other day. So like one of the big things when this all started, like the lockdowns and everything, was people were talking about how Sweden didn't institute any kind of lockdown. And like basically like for the longest time they were reporting very, very minimal cases. And then I just read something the other day about how that's kind of like they're their number of reported cases and numbers of deaths have started to shoot up to the point that they're starting to institute lockdowns now, but it's like it's already too late because they had bars and shops and restaurants and everything open for like the past 2 months while all this is happening. And now
and they just try to claim herd immunity.
Yeah, and now they're like starting to shoot up and like catch up and even surpass some of the other like Icelandic countries that like had taken it seriously and instituted lockdowns.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. How do you feel about people just you're talking about just the Facebook thing. How do you feel about just people's way they're passing time right now?
I don't know, man. It's like,
is there anything that gets to you?
Like I said, the people who post just like nonsense, like with coronavirus is this, then why is this? And I can't even think of an example off the top of my head, but like it's just like the dumbest shit that if you took 1 second and thought about it, you'd be like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Like what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, I know one that I saw. One of the things I saw, and I don't remember exactly how it was worded, but it was like a meme I saw it shared by like no less than 6 people, and it was like something along the lines of like wearing a mask a month after an outbreak starts is the same as wearing a condom after you're already pregnant or something like that. And I'm like, how does that make any... Okay, well, is pregnancy like highly transmittable and contagious? Like if I breathe on you, are you going to get pregnant? Like what? How are these two things at all related? Like...
that's fucking hilarious.
Like that's the perfect example. Like I see shit like that all the time, and it's just like it's nauseating. And then... It's both sides, like the people who are like vehemently like defending Gretchen Whitmer and like, you know, constantly berating people about like not taking coronavirus seriously. That's almost just as bad to me. It's like, dude, just everybody stay in your own lane and you worry about you. And like you said, Darwinism is going to take effect. If these people don't want to take it seriously, then eventually it's going to catch up with them. You know, worry about you and your family. That shit drives me nuts. Other than that, like I can tell that people are bored because it's like all they do is like spend all day on Facebook attacking each other and like arguing like keyboard warriors, and it's just I just try to stay off of it, man. I can't even deal with it. I don't have time or energy for it.
That's how I've been. I've been like going through and reading stuff, but I've been just keeping my opinion to myself. Like there's so many times I'm so close to just saying something. I'm like, I'm just gonna not say anything. I don't even give a shit.
You know, I feel to be fair, like as far as the lockdown itself and like how long it should continue and things like that, like I almost feel like I kind of don't have a right to have an opinion, so I just kind of stay out of it because like I'm very fortunate that I work from home and like my company will continue to allow me to work from home. So like even if things open back up, it doesn't affect me. I can still, you know, protect myself if I feel the need to. And like I've been working through this whole thing, so like I don't have the financial struggles that some other people are having. So like I almost feel like a lot of times I don't get involved or talk about it because I don't really have a right to weigh in, because this whole thing has not affected me in any other way besides I don't get to go to the bar and see my friends once or twice a week. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, I know. I haven't been working. I've been getting unemployment, but it's not that I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to rush back to work when there's not a huge need.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
For me, if I had to go back to work, I'd be fine. But for my wife, like what she does, I feel like she could do like what you do. Like, especially now, she works for a school system where it's not even, a lot of the stuff can be done over the phone, meetings and stuff. Like, I'm more worried about her going back and going to buildings downtown, and then me, like, whatever. I work in a building where I don't see much people. I'm fine with that, but I'm more worried about other people.
Yeah, you work in a kind of controlled environment, but that's why I said I almost feel like I don't get to weigh in on it, because like my company's already said like they just extended us at least another month, and they said when they did that, like, we're not in any hurry for you guys to come back. Even when we do, like, we're gonna take our time, and most likely it'll be like they'll bring a quarter of the people in the office 1 or 2 days a week and like rotate us. You know what I mean? Because the same thing. There's no need for them to push us to come back because we're still being productive and everything at home. So, like I said, I feel like I can't really weigh in on it because, like, I do understand the frustration of people, like, in these protests. Like, where there are situations where they're actually physically struggling financially because of this, like losing
like business owners and all
losing
that
businesses
stuff,
and homes and trying to feed kids, and like even just single parents. I mean, kids being out of school, single parents, that's a fucking hard thing if you're still trying to work. I understand where they're coming from. I just don't think it's being handled very well. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, I don't weigh in on like the meat of the protest, like the reason behind it all that much, because I don't really have a leg in the race. It's just like the methods and like the shit that I'm seeing on TV is just like
is dumb. Yeah.
It's absurd, man. It's like almost embarrassing that it's happening in our state. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, because I agree. I feel like they have the right to protest and they have the right to do and argue for it. Because I agree that we do need to open up some stuff, because there's some people that are literally their whole livelihoods are being lost right now.
Yeah, businesses are announcing, like,
yes.
every day I'm seeing businesses saying, like, we're just not going to open back up because they've lost so much money because of this. And it's going to have a huge, devastating impact on our economy. I do understand that. I'm not in favor of what's happening to the economy or, what people are having to deal with. But it's like, where's the trade-off? I mean, is money worth human lives? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think so, but I guess for these people who feel this strongly about opening things back up, maybe they feel that it is. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see where things go. I don't know. I was asking about that Facebook thing because there was two things that I've noticed that are on Facebook that just get under my nerves so bad. It shouldn't, but just the quarantine day number pictures, I just can't take it. Quarantine day number 47. I'm hanging out with my cat or whatever. Like, dude, I've seen too many of those. Or the fridge pictures. Hey, what's in your fridge?
Well, that's just
cool.
like
Now I know what's in your fridge. So when the fucking world ends, I know to come raid your fridge, bro.
I mean, that's symptoms of like just out and out boredom. Like, that's why you're seeing like all these like Facebook challenges and like all this stuff. Well, people are bored and they're looking for a way to connect with one another. So it's kind of like,
it's just looking for a connection.
That doesn't bother me all that much because it's like, they're trying to maintain some kind of normalcy, some kind of, like I said, connection, relationship, interaction with other people. Again, another reason why I'm fortunate is because I have two roommates. I mean, you have your wife, so we're not like in our homes alone all the time. You know what I mean? So I imagine, like, if you were living on your own and you were in the house, I've been in the house since March 15th, I probably would have lost my fucking mind by now, I'm starting to lose my mind as it is, so I can't, that stuff don't bother me. You do you, whatever. It's no different than when life is normal and it's just, people posting a million pictures of everything their kid does or, whatever. It don't bother me all that much. It's just like it's the fucking...
Hey, that's still annoying too. Quit posting pictures of your kid.
The idiocy that bothers me. Quit posting pictures. People are never gonna stop posting pictures of their kids. I post them.
Hey, I'm gonna have a kid, and the last thing you're gonna see is pictures of them.
Hey, literally the only thing that I post on like Instagram is pictures of my dog. So like, I get it.
I just quit posting. People don't need to know what I'm doing. Anyways, another thing that I've noticed is that really actually gets under my nerves are the people that post news articles, but then when you click on the actual news article to fucking read it, you need a subscription. And you well know that fucking person doesn't have a subscription.
Yes. So many people just click, like, see headlines and share stuff, like, and without even reading the context of the article, and then, like, can't even defend the reason why they post it. Like, I see that all the time, too. It's just clickbait.
Yep.
Like you said, you can tell when you can't read the article or you open the article and like it says something completely contradictory to what the person thinks it's going to say,
Yep.
The other thing that bothers me now that you brought that up is like those same people that do that seem to be the same people who like don't know what the fuck they believe in. Like they'll post one article about like how deadly coronavirus is, and then the next article will be like, we need to open up the economy right now. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. What the fuck do you believe in? Do you believe in anything? Like, I don't.
They don't know. They just they hear one thing from one person. Oh, I believe that person. Oh no, I believe that person.
No, it's just anything they see that they know is gonna like get a rise out of people. Like get that blood pressure up a little bit, get them hearts beating, like they just want to be that like antagonist, just poke at people, It's like digitally poking at people. It's like, I'm going to find somebody, no matter what you believe in, I'm going to find something to post that's just going to like jab you in the ribs, like it's fucking stupid.
Did you hear about the AMC and Regal theaters will no longer play Universal movies in theaters now?
I did hear this. Like, I didn't hear why though. What is the reasoning behind that?
Because they're little bitches, and they're mad that now that the coronavirus happened, that they're allowing Universal Movies is allowing their movies to be purchased through streaming.
Well, of course, yeah.
And they're doing such a good job at that because no one can go anywhere. They decided that even when people can go back to movies, they're still going to allow you to stream the movie to buy it instead of go to the theater.
I feel like I feel like that's like an inevitable future anyways. Like, I feel like the theater's been a dying art form for years,
Yeah. So, but that's why they're trying to ban them, is just because they're kind of doing something that might actually, tear that whole entire industry down in the future. Because people quit going to the theater in general, but
I think they're embracing the future. They're just ahead of the curve, and I get it that like theaters are going to do to fight back.
Yeah, no, I mean Universal is ahead of the curve. I'm talking about AMC and Regal.
Oh.
They're trying to stay. They're banning them just because they're trying to be part of the game because they're about to be no longer existent.
Well, they need to find, if they want to survive, they need to find a way to adapt, and like I don't know what that is, but like they gotta find what's the next thing that's going to draw people into the theater. I like I said, I don't know what the answer is. Maybe not making movies cost $16 would be a start, but hey.
40.
Like they like you're watching them drive through the jungle and then that just like sprays you in the face with mist.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah, like they used to have at Kosai.
Yep, weird stuff like that where you're watching it and you feel like you're really immersed. That's the only way to do it.
Floor moves and stuff.
Yep, chairs shake.
Yeah, because I feel like like everybody anticipated that 3D was going to be the next big thing, but I feel like 3D has always just been kind of like a novelty more than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, how many 3D movies have you seen? I've seen quite a few. Like, I try to see any crazy movie in 3D.
I've seen quite a few. Some of them translate, some of them don't. And usually, like, the whole thing about the 3D movie, I feel like, is you watch the whole 3D movie and it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. For, like, one part that's like, whoa, that was awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The rest is just kind of normalized,
like, yeah, it's like, this is all right. It's kind of like a little texture to the world. I feel like the future of like the cinema, if they want to adapt, needs to be, like you said, immersive, but not necessarily like 4D, more like virtual reality. You know what I'm saying? Like be like a virtual reality hub where you come in and like you put on a full set of like virtual reality glasses and everything, and then like it's almost like you're in the movie, like immersive in that way, as opposed to like a novelty like theme park ride.
Yeah,
you know
chair.
what I mean?
Yeah. But you'd still want it where you feel the elements,
Yeah, it would be a combination of things. It would be the virtual reality like display, and then like you said, like the other like physical elements happening around you when you can't see what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just came up with $1 million idea and gave it to all of our listeners. So if someone out there makes money off this, congratulations.
Yeah, AMC and Regal. You better not take our idea.
Because I guarantee that they're listening to our podcast.
They are. We're hot right now, dude. We're a hot take. I seen this other thing on Facebook because, again, we brought up the point that's the only thing people are doing nowadays.
Yeah.
It's an ad for this company called Fellow. I think that's the funniest thing ever. I want to know if you'd participate in this. So Fellow is kind of like 23andMe.
Okay.
You send them something and they test it for you and tell you if it's good and what to do to get it better, but it's not spit. You send them your sperm. And they tell you if your sperm, they give you a sperm analysis. They tell you if your sperm is strong enough or all that stuff. So it's like basically a sperm test, so you don't have to go to the doctor and get your sperm test.
Why wouldn't you go to the doctor instead of like sending your sperm to some anonymous laboratory?
Dude, I know. That's all I could think of is like how many people have done this and how many of those people's kids are out there just randomly running around.
This sounds like the plot of like a bad science fiction movie. Like they're just collecting all this sperm in like this giant warehouse and like creating like stormtrooper like clones to send off to war or something.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to send their sperm to Fellow, don't.
Dude, who is that? Like, who is that fucking agoraphobic that instead of just going to your doctor and being like, "Hey, can I like have a test done?" You know, to send your sperm to literally just some random fucking people you have no contact with. You don't even know if a medical doctor is analyzed. You don't know what the fuck they're doing with it.
Yeah, they could be over there drinking it,
and you have no way of knowing if what they send you is even accurate. They could just like have like pre-made results that they mail to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, just throw your name on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're 100%.
Yeah. Just random numbers, everything. And you would get it and you'd be like, all right, I'm good to go. Let's fucking put a baby in you. Like, you would just take their word for it. You have no way of knowing that it's legit.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Anything on the internet can be faked. You know what I mean? They go on the internet and, like, I'm sure that they have, like, medical doctors and, like, testimonials and shit like that. Any of that stuff can be faked, you know?
Yep.
At the end of the day, you're just sending your boys to some unknown dude and fuck knows where, and you don't know what's happening with it. That's crazy to me. Absolutely not. I won't even do 23andMe. You think I'm going to send them my fucking DNA? Absolutely not.
I did. I disappointingly did. After I did it, I didn't disappoint you, dude. It's cool. I like it, but...
What did you find out?
After you... Just random stuff, you know, heritage.
Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing about that, and this I know it would be different with the swimmers that you're talking about, but like I listened to a podcast one time that was talking about like 23andMe and Ancestry.com and all this stuff, and they were talking about how the results that you get are so like inaccurate because they have no way of actually getting a baseline for these countries that they're saying that you come from because everybody's so integrated and interbred these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, so somebody, like if they collect DNA from, 100 German people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
of those 100 German people, the chances are very, very high that their German heritage is low because their parents probably, their parents, grandparents, generations beforehand, like intermixed, interbred with people from other countries. So like a pure German bloodline is hard to find. You know what I'm saying? Any country is that way because our borders don't mean as much anymore, and we have travel. We have an ease of travel, and we have fucking Tinder, and everybody's just fucking each other, and there's no way to like decipher what is actually true heritage and what is the result of generations of interbreeding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
but
they'll tell you like, hey, you're 66% German, we'll say, but you're 66%. That means that you matched, 66% of what they're determining to be German based on today's standards, which isn't, actually German or you're, so it doesn't really speak to your ancestry. It speaks to like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like common heritage right now.
Yeah. We'll say because they definitely are accurate on a certain aspect of it because I got it done, my mom's got it done, and they realized that we were relatives without us even telling them.
Yeah, it is good for a lot of things, and by all means, it gives you a better understanding than you would have without it. I'm just saying that it's not infallible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the one thing that blew my mind was the percentage of Jewish I am, and then my grandpa didn't do it, but my grandpa's brother did it, and the percentage he is, and what they say is, every generation you lose half.
Yeah.
And it actually works out like that for that generation. Like I'm 10 and he's 40.
The relative thing is crazy too. Like I do know somebody, like my ex-wife's dad did the 23andMe, and actually he was adopted, and he actually found 3 siblings that he didn't know he had by doing that, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know somebody else who was adopted and made contact with a bunch of siblings that they didn't know that they had because they their father was like a sperm donor or something like that. So it's just crazy in that aspect that people can use it to actually find their family. That's a cool tool, I guess.
Yeah, that is insane.
But the idea of sending my DNA anywhere is still a little off-putting to me, so I'll just keep it right here at home.
No, I agree. I agree. That was the thing that freaks me out. Is they even had like a questionnaire where it said like, after we do the test, can we keep your sample for up to like 5 years or whatever? I was like, fuck no.
That's because they're using it to do what I just said. They're trying to purify the bloodline, so like they're going to use it to compare to future people, and it will improve the test over time. But I don't know. It was just interesting, and like I don't remember all the details obviously because it was like last summer when I listened to that podcast, and I know it was a lot more in depth than how I'm explaining it. But it really did make me think about like what they're actually telling you versus what they're advertising that they tell you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about this? About our VP, dude, our VP running,
Our VP
going for president. The VP going for president. How do you feel about Biden?
About Biden
And Tara Reid, not the Tara Reid from Sharknado or American Pie.
I think that that whole situation is incredibly fucked, and it's kind of like a double standard, honestly. Like people are just ignoring it, like blatantly ignoring it, and
as much as they shouldn't ignore it, at the same time, everyone else did ignore all of Trump's accusations. But I do agree. I don't think just because you did that, you should ignore this.
An eye for an eye only leaves the world blind, man. And, like, what about the whole Kavanaugh thing and that whole trial? You know what I mean? Like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that justice was necessarily served or weighing in on that at all, but I'm saying, like, it wasn't something that was swept under the rug. It was made national news and, like, it was investigated thoroughly. And I feel like this whole Biden thing is just being completely overlooked. Not only that, but, like, okay, I know that this is, like, a simplistic way of looking at it, but Biden is fucking creepy, man. There are a lot of very questionable pictures and videos of him interacting with other people out there that, like, kind of make me think that where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. The whole him behind women and stuff, sniffing them real close, and just when he touches people, and yeah, everything. He has this weird, like, creepy old man vibe about him.
Dude, I've seen, like, so many pictures and videos of him just, like, inappropriately, like, touching kids, and the kids, like, visibly being uncomfortable, and, like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's...
Well, what's funny is I talked to my mom about that same exact thing, before he even came out and ran. Like, when he decided he was going to run, my mom was like, oh, I think Joe Biden's going to run. He'd be good. And the first thing I told her, I was like, he is not going to be good. There's literally pictures of him on the internet, because that was big before he even, like, decided. They were coming out with that and, like, saying that. I'm like, they're going to use that against him, and it's not going to be good.
Right. But I feel like people are just, like, choosing to overlook it because they're so anti-Trump that...
Yeah, but right now they're overlooking it. But I'm telling you, once it goes to if it goes to the debate, dude, he's gonna get ripped apart.
Dude, he's gonna get shredded by Trump. He has no poise in a debate. I felt that he got shredded by Bernie. Honestly, I feel like he said nothing. He was backed into a corner the entire time. If the DNC was smart, they would investigate this thing. They would get the fuck rid of him and find another candidate and do it fast. Because all they're doing is setting up Trump to win again.
Yeah. But yet again, we could just be in this whole entire... I know everyone says it's not possible. We could just be in this whole entire thing. This could be all a game. They're making this all play out like a fucking TV series where we think this is all really happening, but this is all planned, and then we just a one-world government soon.
I've seen quite a few people post things about that. I mean, I've always had that thought in the back of my head a little bit, but I don't know, man.
Did you hear about the Kim Jong-un rumors?
Of course.
That was a kind of ironic. That made me wonder what was going on.
Yeah, and then was he like yesterday? I saw something that he made a public appearance supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly.
But there's like
I also seen yesterday that one thing I was talking about last week. There was another last episode. There was another huge ass asteroid that was like, I don't know, it came like the closest it's came ever to Earth, the longest time or whatever, that just passed us yesterday.
I mean, that shit happens like all the time. They
all
don't
the
talk
time.
About it.
Yeah, I know. I think it was ironic, the timing of it. We got everyone locked in their houses.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not going to ignore the fact that this virus isn't real. This virus is completely real.
It's like it's. I feel torn in a lot of ways because like I do believe that the virus is real because of like people that I know firsthand, like you said, like who are actually working on the front lines and are seeing this shit. Like as opposed to I don't care what the fucking news or the Facebook warriors say. Like we know people who are directly out there
Affected,
dealing
yes,
with
and
it.
doing this.
So it is happening, and maybe it is only happening to a very small percent of the population, but it's bad enough that like hospital workers are overwhelmed, and like that's a big concern when there are other things that people need to go to the hospital for. You know what I mean? Like, so like it is a very real thing, and there is a very real direct correlation to the threat that it poses to everybody, whether it's getting the virus or not being able to get treatment for other things that you need. Those are all real concerns. But the inner conspiracy theorist in me, like you said as well, like does kind of wonder and like let my mind wander sometimes, and nothing is beyond the realm of possibility. I mean, after 9/11, I think that kind of went off the table. That there's really anything that we can look at objectively and be like, no, that's not possible. They'd never do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got your quarantine beard going strong, huh?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever
shaved once.
I don't think I've ever seen you have that much of a beard before.
It's shitty. So.
Dude, mine I haven't shaved since your wedding. I'm trying to go a year. It's getting completely out of control. But fuck it, because I literally don't interact with anybody besides the people I live with. So.
That's how I feel. I don't plan on shaving it until I go back. I'm gonna grow as long as I can go.
Yeah.
I hate it though. Like the mustache is getting in my mouth all the time. And
I know the feeling.
Curls up into my nose and tickles. I'm like, what the?
Dude, mine's at the point now that like if I eat like something sloppy like soup or like eggs, I got to be careful like not to get it in my beard. Which I mean, sounds like I'm just a sloppy asshole because I'm spilling shit everywhere. But like getting stuff in your beard is the worst.
No, I know. And you probably don't even realize it.
No, I don't.
Walk around half the day.
I don't. Because I don't even. I don't even look in the mirror anymore. I don't have to.
Yep. You saying quarantine reminded me. So you were talking about, how like the part of you thinks of like the conspiracy theory and stuff. I feel like just everyone being in quarantine and just being stuck inside and not being able to see people and interact and stuff has given everyone that feeling.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everyone has gone from like, oh, this thing is real. Oh, this thing is completely fake. Oh, this thing is like they keep like I do it all the time. Like I switch from like this thing is 100% real. No, this thing's fake, dude. This is
I mean,
fake.
because you're spending all your time like on the internet reading stuff, watching videos,
Yes.
and like they all make you think on both sides. I mean, that's what they're designed to do. Is to like they're not gonna put something out there if it doesn't have some like logic behind it, or like what I'm saying, like it doesn't make any sense at all. Then people aren't gonna put it out there. So then you start thinking, and you're like, well, what if like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're right. I don't know. But no, like I said, I feel like the firsthand accounts of people seeing the shit is enough for me to believe in it. I don't know that I believe that like as many people are affected by it as what they're saying, but I think that the people who are affected by it is so overwhelming that it is important to quarantine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily think that a lot of young, healthy people without underlying problems are at risk for it. But I do think that the people who are at risk for it are a greater number than what we realize. There are a lot of people who are living with underlying conditions that just don't go to the doctor and don't realize what they have that are at serious risk for it. So it is still important to take, proper precautions,
Mm-hmm. 100%.
But I don't know. I go back and forth too, just because I'm bored and we're locked in the house, and it's easy to let your mind wander. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's the end game? Okay, we're all locked in our houses. We've been locked in our houses since March 15th. Like, what's the end game? What is this? How does this help them accomplish this master plan that they're trying to accomplish? How does us being home change anything from us being at the office? They don't really.
I don't know. Could be an inside job to purposely crash the world economy.
Crippling the economy? Then why would they continue to like pump money into it to try and stimulate and keep it afloat? Why wouldn't they just like let it collapse?
Because I feel like that's only going to collapse some more. You're just pumping fake money into it. Where are they getting this money? They're just printing it.
Well, that's what they do with all money.
They're just putting them.
We-
I know they're just making them.
We've moved so far from the gold standard that like that's just money in general, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's just weird. Then the whole China thing to me is weird. I feel like we're still at this war with China. Like, we were in the middle of a trade war, and this stuff happens. Like, no one finds that ironic. And now did you see the news report of all these killer bees now supposedly coming from China that are here?
I've actually been reading about that like for a couple years, that they've been like migrating, that people have been seeing them, not like in like numbers, but like they've been popping up around the country.
Yeah. But to me, it's just like all this China shit is ironic. Like it's either a thing for us, they're purposely doing this to get us ready to go to war with China, so we hate China, or China's literally fucking with us, like trying to start something with us, or like I don't know, dude. To me, there's just so many weird things.
See, it's like, but when we look at like if we look at it as a domestic issue, like you said, they're doing this to get us ready to go to war with China, then like it wouldn't be affecting the whole world in the way that it is, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to say, like I've seen people say like, oh, it's convenient that there's an election and they're trying to have mail-in elections and stuff like that, and it's like this is affecting the entire world. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't just affecting the election in the United States. So I don't necessarily buy that. I guess to me, there's not enough logic there. Maybe I guess I need to see some further argument or explanation, but I do agree that I feel like there's like a contention, and there's been like a silent war between the United States and China for a long time, just based on like trade and I mean, ideology in general, and just competing to be, you know, a world superpower. Like, I think that when people look at world superpowers, they underestimate China. Just based on technology and sheer numbers, like, China is a very, very scary and powerful country.
Yeah. They have way more people than us, and not only do they have way more people than us, they're all under control.
Well, and they're technologically advanced. They're like a year ahead of us technology-wise.
I know.
We depend on them for so much of our technology that it's not even funny.
It's just, it's weird.
Yeah, and
it makes you wonder how they can even survive. Like, how do they, like, if they pay their workers like a cent? That's why all of us put our work over there. Like, how do those people that make a cent a day like even live long enough to produce these things for everyone? Like,
because it's like everything is regulated. People still get the things that they need. They just don't live in excess like they do in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is regulated, right down to the amount of children that you can have in a family. You know what I mean? Everything is very strictly regulated to run as a well-oiled machine, because there are so many fucking people there, and they maintain such a high degree of control, as you said, that like everything has to be to a T or it would all fall apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, speaking of that and how they have everything under control, does it scare you at all the laws they're kind of they're talking about uplifting here on our privacy because of the coronavirus?
Like what?
Like our data and stuff, because they're trying to track it, so they want to use our location data and stuff from our phones to find out where people have been, who have it, and if they have it, where they go. Like all this weird, they're talking about like uplifting a lot of the privacy issues on a lot of the social medias and stuff to try to, and just phones and technology.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, the privacy thing is something that's been like evolving for a long time in the country, even before coronavirus. Like the question of where does our privacy begin and end, and what does the government have rights to, and things like that. And it is scary. It's definitely scary. And like, that's one of those things where it makes you think, like, conspiracy wise, like maybe this is a ploy just to get access, you know, to get more control, you know. Is it scary? Yeah, it's terrifying, but you know, it's another one of those things. It's like, as much as I find it terrifying and I don't agree with it, and of course I don't want it to happen, it's what do we do about it? And I know that's the wrong attitude to have, but I'm legitimately don't know what the answer is. You know, is the answer storming the Capitol with guns? Probably not, because I don't think we're going to achieve the results that we think we're going to achieve. Like, what do we do? How do we stop it? How do we change this trajectory that we're on? I don't know. I'm not smart enough to have the answer to that, but I don't think that I have heard from anyone who is at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we all buy into it. We all have cell phones. We all have... Dude, I have like 57 pieces of technology sitting on this desk alone right now that they could track me on. You know what I mean? And it's like, I willingly sign up for it. Like, this fucking call that we're having right now is probably being recorded somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
So... But we willingly do it for the convenience that it presents, and we've had that conversation a few times too. And like, so at the end of the day, if it's something that we really want to put an end to, then we as a people, myself included, then we need to stop using these things. That's the only thing that's going to change things is to cripple the money that's being made and cripple the amount of and reduce the amount of information that they have access to. You know, maybe we all just need to fucking collectively decide to take a step back and stop using smartphones. I'm not saying that's ever going to happen or that it's even realistic, but like those are the kind of things that would actually have an impact and change the outcome of the future. Other than that, they're going to do what they want to do because we keep signing up for it. You know what I mean?
Yep. If, let's say 2 years or a year down the road, they come up with a vaccine for this coronavirus, how would you feel if they told you it is mandatory?
I would not be. I don't know, man. That's a sore subject. Like, I believe in vaccines for children, like a lot of vaccines, and we've eradicated a lot of disease in this country through vaccines. But mandatory, I don't know, man. I guess we would have to see how the time between now and then goes. You know, I don't like the idea of being told that I have to inject anything into my body. Even if it's just the illusion of choice, you know what I mean? Like with vaccines now, they have the illusion of choice. Like you don't have to vaccinate your kids. You just can't send your kids to school, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I guess it would depend on the circumstance. Like I said, what happens between now and then, my personal experience up until that point, it's a loaded question that I don't feel that I'm really equipped to answer right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. There's those rumors.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's those. There's the, the people are gonna have to get the microchip. You know that those rumors have been since as long as I can remember, dude. Since like microchips were a thing, people have been talking about that. Like, is there any validity in it? Maybe. I mean, but it's just like one of those things that like circulate every time something happens. I feel like that rumor circulates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you one thing. I don't take flu shots, and I will not be taking a coronavirus shot.
I don't take flu shots either. Like I said, I believe in vaccine for kids, eradicating polio, things like that. I don't get a flu shot. Knock on wood, I haven't had the flu like real bad in years, so I see no reason to.
Oh, it's scary. Scary thought.
It is. It's terrifying. Like I said, it's. I don't think I can answer it at this point. Like if it was today and they said, "Hey, we have a coronavirus vaccine," I'd say, "Okay." If I have fun with that, you know, like I don't have coronavirus. Yeah. I'm going to continue to work from home and do my thing, you know, congratulations. But like, hey, if this thing like blew off the charts, like they were saying it was going to originally, and next thing you know, like everybody that you know has been affected by it, and we've all lost family members, and, you know, we're legitimately terrified to go outside because of the coronavirus, then they have us in a position where it's kind of like, it's a tough decision to make at that point. You know what I mean? So that's why I said my experience up until that point would really kind of dictate my feelings on it. I don't take a flu shot because I don't get the flu, and I observe universal precautions, and I've not taken a flu shot in my adult life, and here I am. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know. To me, it's just, why inject my body with the flu to protect myself from the flu?
Right.
If I get the flu, my body will do the work.
You would hope, right?
If it doesn't, then I'm dead.
But then I guess it was your time, right? Natural selection.
Yeah.
Goes back to that Darwinism we were talking about, you know.
Yeah.
If as a 32-year-old male you get the flu and you die from it because you didn't get a flu shot, then, as you said, it's probably there's an underlying cause there, and it was probably your time.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I feel like I'm in. That's one thing I can tell you about the quarantine, is I feel like I'm probably in the best shape of my life during this quarantine.
Yeah, you've been running a lot.
Yeah. I ran 100 miles this past month.
Holy shit, that's good.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. So, and just, I don't know. That's the one thing I can say. Like, my health, I feel good, but mentally, I feel like, yeah, I've been kind of going out there, especially lately, just because the lack of talking to people other than my wife. And then just doing things that I normally like to do. It's like I start projects around here, but then at some point I'm just like, it's pointless. Like, why am I doing this?
I feel you 100%. That's kind of where I am too. I've been struggling the last couple of weeks. You know, that's why like even like trying to connect to do the podcast has been hard, because like I just like I'm having trouble seeing the point in anything right now, just because it's just monotonous routine. You know what I mean?
Yep. But the way I literally just kind of thought about it yesterday and today. That I'm gonna try to look at my aspect though of being quarantined. Is I'm gonna try to pretend like I'm in Groundhog Day.
Just live every day exactly the same.
I mean, that's, well, not even exactly the same, but like look at, like, he starts off where he like gets, like, he hates it and he kills himself all the time, right? And like that's how I feel like I'm at right now. But it's like I should be focusing on things I've always wanted to do because I have the free time.
Yeah.
Like I should play piano more and do, like, you know what I'm saying? He learned how to play piano technically in one day, even though it was every other day. But like,
right.
This whole quarantine is a perfect time for me to focus on something I want to. But the problem is I got like 10 different fucking things, and I start one and then I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this. And I go to the next one and I can't just like focus on one.
It's that short American attention span, you know?
Yeah.
No, I feel the same way. Like, I don't have that much time because I still work a lot, but like when I do have free time, I feel the same way. Like, I'll pick something up and like start doing it, and like an hour in, I'll be like, all right, now what? And then I end up doing nothing. Like, literally just watching Netflix, still just wasting away.
Yep.
And that's why, like I said, it's been hard for me to like find the motivation to feel the need to do anything, because like I feel like we're just kind of like in stasis. I just exist, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely given me a weird reflection on just living and life itself and consciousness.
And then I think about what a little bitch I'm being, because think about all the people for these thousands of years of human history who didn't have 1/100th of the access to the things that we do, and lived every day of their life years on end in, you know, in isolation, dedicating themselves to one thing. And we're just so fucking greedy that we can't even just pick one thing and do it.
It's insane that, like you said, like there's still people like that though living on this earth today in different countries where like they don't even know like half the shit we have, and they're just so happy just to be like doing what they're doing and living and existing, and we're over here like trying to find happiness in every little thing that we can buy and purchase.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
It makes you like I wish I could get to that headspace. I don't understand how, and I know people will say it's a choice, and I try to choose to be positive, but like it's not a choice when inherently you're just content. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly what you said, that you're just content. That's just like there's something within us, I think, us like as our modern society or America or whatever you want to say, like there's something that's been taught to us that's like deeply ingrained in us that I feel like prevents us from having that level of just happiness, just, you know, acceptance, and like we're always looking for something. That's what I feel like, and that's why I feel like I'm having a hard time mentally, is like I feel like we have this idea in our heads that we should always be working towards something or building something, or like trying to move on to the next thing, moving forward in some way or another. And like this whole quarantine thing has made us all be static, and like so I feel like there is nothing that I'm personally working towards, or like, you know what I'm saying? And like it's kind of like thrown my whole like mental process in a loop, because then it's like I said, it's when you don't feel like you're striving for something or looking for something or working for something, then it's hard to see the purpose in doing anything, because I feel like that's how we were taught to think, not how we have to think. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
it's ingrained in us.
I don't know
as
how,
Americans.
Yeah, and I don't know how to unlearn it or to learn a different way of thinking, because I feel like you said, it's ingrained in us. It's so deep in so deeply rooted in our ideas of this of ourselves as a member of this society that like it's hard to overcome. And I don't understand. I wish I knew how. That's what I'm working on, I guess. I can take solace in that. I'm working on trying to figure out how to overcome it, but it's like I think that that's a problem for a lot of people, and I think that's why we're seeing all the shit that we've been talking about this whole episode. All the shit that drives us crazy is just because everybody right now feels like they kind of lack purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel maybe I don't know, man. Everyone needs to get a little. Everyone needs to examine themselves. I think.
Yeah.
From an outside perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where a lot of this, I guess, thinking came from, was like self-examination when I was on it. Like, kind of realized these things about myself, and like I've kind of been going in circles, like I said, and trying to think my way past it, or help myself to evolve to thinking a different way. But I think just having the ability to realize those things about myself kind of provided some mental clarity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that we've lost, as, like you said, as Americans, is our actual spiritualism. Like, people can talk about, Catholicism or Catholicism and, Judaism and, just even being Christian. Like, I don't feel like that's, I mean, there's probably aspects of people that are really deep down and do like the prayers and go like, they probably do get some kind of spiritual thing from it, but I feel like we've lost the touch of like the old Indians and even the old Jews and all the old cultures. They all used to really trip. Like, I
think that people often confuse spiritualism and religion and think that they're one and the same, and they're not. I mean, spiritualism is more of, like you said, self-reflection, being internally focused, and really contemplating your own nature and what drives you, and what I'm saying, like what connects you to everything, not just people, but everything. What connects you to everything. I think when I think of spiritualism, that's what I think of. Like, how do I fit into this everything?
This picture, yeah.
And
we're all connected.
I think that people, when they hear the word spiritualism, a lot of people think immediately religion, and it comes with a negative connotation because a lot of religions are corrupt today, and like religion can provide a form of spiritualism, as you said, for some people who actually believe it and buy in, and it brings them inner peace, and
and they do like the prayers every day and follow all the laws and stuff.
It provides them with the answers they're looking for that question that we just talked about. But spiritualism doesn't mean religion, and spiritualism is not like a dirty word. I feel like there's also people out there who feel like to consider yourself to be a spiritual person is like almost like weak. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's viewed as being weak, or like has like,
I wouldn't say weak. I'd say like not even fake, but like, how you just like look at someone like almost like a stoner connotation, where you're just kind of like, oh, he doesn't know what the hell he's like. Like, you can't. No one takes him seriously.
Yeah.
Like, they look at him like they don't know what the hell they're talking about, because they don't understand spiritualism. So they look at people that,
I think those same kind of people are the kind of people that, like you said, like they look at somebody who does devote themselves to, philosophy or meditation, or like being like having a spiritual presence in their existence, and like you said, they almost look at it as if it's not important. Like, it's not something that someone should be wasting their time on. Like,
yeah.
Like, why are you thinking about it? And I think the reason for that, honestly, like, not that anybody would ever admit this, or, maybe even realize about himself. It might be a subconscious thing. I think that it's all rooted in fear. I think that the people who act that way or have that opinion is because they see somebody who's spiritual and they choose not to be, because to contemplate things on that scale is scary. I mean, it's terrifying to think about your place in the universe, in existence, what existence is. Yeah. All of these questions that we kind of always have in the back of our head, because we have this consciousness as human beings, but we don't we consciously make an effort not to think about most times because they're scary concepts and the answers are scary. And we live in this bubble of safety where everything we've talked about today and everything we do in our lives seems to matter. But when we look at existence itself and the nature of it, none of it fucking matters. And that's scary for some people. And rather than confront that fear and try to deal with it in a mature way or reconcile it to where they can get through the day without having to ignore that part of themselves, it's easier just to shun it and to make fun of people who do embrace it and to look down upon them, because it's a defense mechanism. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree, and I feel like that is their biggest problem. So you got to face those fears, man. I'm scared to death about it. That's all I can think about lately, dude. And I've been staying up nights and just can't sleep, tossing and turning, and fucking. I don't know, man. I can't stop thinking. I can't.
That's the secret of existence, is that everybody's scared of it. Everybody thinks about it.
I know. But that's the thing, is like I feel like the people that are hiding from it and trying to stay away from it is like they're not. I feel like that's the whole purpose of us being here. It's not to make fucking a computer for us to play on. I think it's to figure out the meaning. Like it's almost like a game. Like, what if we are in a video game where we get thrown in and it's like, hey, figure out what the purpose is. And most people are like, oh, the purpose is we can play with ourselves and fuck and multiply. And, like, right. What if it's literally just finding out the meaning? And I know we probably, as humans, can't consciously be able to, like, understand everything on a whole level. But I feel like there's definitely levels of understanding, and we're like negative level of understanding is just humans just born. Like, you got to find your way. I don't know. It's weird, stupid thinking, but no, I mean, stupid. But no,
I mean, I agree. I've thought about that before many, many times, that like there is an underlying purpose, and we're just existing until we find that purpose. And some people choose to ignore it because they don't want the answers. They're happy being naive and being in the bubble, and they don't want to know what the answers to these complex questions are, because it'll shake their worldview or their existence, and they don't want that, so.
Yeah. Want to hear something crazy I've been thinking about?
What's that?
It's going to be really off the wall, but I've been thinking about when I die, I like sleep on my stomach. And I'm thinking about, like, if they bury me, they better bury me on my stomach, because I don't want to be on my back, because I don't sleep on my back. It's not comfortable. It's the most uncomfortable position I'm in. So it's weird thinking, but it's like, when I die, if they bury me, please bury me on my, like, isn't that weird to be thinking about? But it's like, what if, like, eternity, like, whatever position your body's in is like, what if you're stuck in that box in your mind and you just got to think for the rest of your life? That's eternity.
Oh, I mean,
and you're just sit there stuck, uncomfortable, and you got an itch and you can't move. Like, it's weird, but I've been thinking about it, man. Like,
that's a disturbing thought.
It is. I don't know. I think about, like, I've been trying to sleep on my back because they say it's better for me and better for you to sleep on your back, and I just can't do it. And it's been like, that's one of the things that's been like in my head the past few weeks, is just like, are they going to put me on my back when I'm dead? Am I going to be comfortable?
Just put it in your will. I'm sure that they can make an exception.
Yeah, they lay me out in the coffin like this. Just like...
It'd be like,
laid out like
you'd be looking like one of those like newborn baby photos, just arms cradled, just so peaceful.
Yeah, it's just weird shit like that. Like, I think about... Like, I watched this movie, it was about the afterlife or whatever, and I'm not sure if this is exactly what the Jewish people, Hasidic Jews, believe, but it had a Hasidic Jew in it who basically, I think they were saying, like, they believe that, I think they believe that once you die, you actually go to hell first until your body completely deteriorates back to earth, then you go to heaven. So, like, hell is like a stage you have to go through. So when you die, your body rots, and once it, like, completely deteriorates back to the earth, that's when you rise from hell and go to heaven. So, like, this guy's wife died, so, like, his whole thing was he was trying to, like, get her body to decompose faster so she wouldn't be stuck in hell.
What if you're cremated?
that's the Jewish thing. So they don't cremate people in Judaism.
I know, but what if they were? What would happen?
I don't know. Maybe straight to hell. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know, but it was just like that concept that made me get into this whole idea of like, like laying there and shit in my grave. I was thinking about it like, I want to be comfortable, man. I don't want to be laying there like all uncomfortable and.
Man, I think it's a reasonable request.
I don't know. It's weird. Life's weird. Coronavirus is weird. Spiritualism's weird.
Yeah, it's all weird. Our minds are weird, and we're all trapped in them at the moment. So,
yeah,
here we are.
Well, guys, this has been a long, crazy episode where we started talking about coronavirus, started talking about Joe Biden, ended up talking about spiritualism.
It's this is the byproduct of what are we at 7-8 weeks of quarantine and not being able to get together and talk about this shit off the air. So,
yep. Do not send your sperm to fellow and
keep your sperm at home.
Yeah, keep your sperm at home. If you want to test it, I don't know how to. I would say throw it in like a vial, see if it moves. If it moves, I'm guessing it's swimming.
I would advise you to call a licensed medical doctor and set up an appointment.
Well, you can't do that in coronavirus. What if this is like a must-need know now? Like, hey, my nuts are working.
You don't think that you don't think you could get an appointment with like a urologist because of coronavirus?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, you know how doctors are. You book an appointment now, you're not going to get it until June anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, true.
Very true. I can't think of a sperm emergency. You might just have to wait another month to put that baby in her.
I have an emergency.
If you have a sperm emergency, you're fucked. You can't even call a friend to stand in for you right now because of coronavirus, so you're just totally fucked.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you're in a sperm emergency, we are sorry for you guys right now.
Yeah.
Maybe send your sperm to fellow. I don't know if it's that big of a deal. Anyways, so this was a great episode, guys. Thank you for listening. We do have a YouTube channel now.
Yep, we
posting some videos.
Got a video up from the last episode.
Got some new listeners. So please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go subscribe to our Facebook and all the other good stuff. Share us, guys. Tell your friends.
Yep.
Like Taking Back Sunday.
If you're on Apple, give us a good rating and a review. That'd be awesome.
Yep. If you want to donate some money to us, just go to our Anchor website. Just give us some money.
Yeah,
Hard times, coronavirus.
Scott's unemployed currently, so all proceeds go to getting him some oil for that beard.
Yes. You guys will see the shitty beard on YouTube later. So it's been a great episode, guys. Thank you for listening. This is the Sorry for Your Friended podcast.
Let's try that again.
This is Sorry for Your podcast, and I'm Scott.
And I'm Drew.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.